time to make your move. But somebody says, hey, we need you another night. That's a success right there.
Yeah, this was a cool event. I've never done this before, but basically, I was telling Josh, in the Midwest, all the people who own these like theaters and performing arts centers, they get together and they watch comedians and musicians and plays and speakers and all kinds of stuff. And then they, over the course of a few days, they decide who they'd like to bring to their theater for the next year. And so I was performing in front of, a couple hundred different theater owners in hopes that they'll want to book me next year for their, season package or whatever. And awesome. And those shows are a lot of fun because if you get them, because a lot of times these theaters, here in Cincinnati area, we think about like the Taft and the Aronoff Center, but there's a lot of really cool 600-800 seat spaces around the city. Yeah. And when you talk about cities that don't have a full-time comedy club, it's not something that they have access to every week. So when a place like that does book a comedian, the whole town shows up. Yeah. Right. And you get these awesome shows in these tiny towns that are just kind of starved for entertainment.
That's the grassroots networking too, right there. You're getting those huge group of people in a small area exposed to you.
Yeah,
right? And then when they go on Facebook and they're flipping through the reels, I see this guy.
And a lot of times they're like really nice theaters. They're old, state theaters that the state funded back in the day when every town had a thriving Main Street.
Right.
And so at some point, a rich donor or some local arts group or someone came along to, revitalize the theater, and it just, you play these venues and they're just like these little gems in cities where you would never expect.
Little pieces of architecture around.
Yeah, it's really, really fun.
Yeah. So before we dive into like your story and how you got here, that's what we kind of do. Tell us some accomplishments. Number one, tell us about the stuff you've done with Comedy Central, and then I want to hear about your business too, because we're all about entrepreneurs here.
Yeah. Well, I'm born and raised in St. Bernard, which is right across the river, tiny part of Cincinnati, a very small school, 72 in my graduating class. Procter & Gamble had a big footprint in St. Bernard. Everybody's parents worked there. My mom worked there. My grandma worked there. So it just sort of seemed destined that's the measure of success. For a lot of Cincinnati people, you get a job at P&G. Yeah. Stayed local for college. Went to NKU for a couple years, and then got this summer internship with a computer company who had a contract with P&G, and they hired me to upgrade a bunch of computers at P&G. And then when it came time to go back for my junior year in the fall, they said, hey, why don't you keep working, and then we'll pay for you to go to school at night. And I thought, that'd be great, go to school for free, graduate a year later, but with 3 years experience in the field. So I decided to keep working, and I switched over to night classes. Well, they lost their contract with P&G, and it was over Christmas break, so I couldn't even register as a full-time student for the spring. And I decided I was going to take the spring off and go back either in the summer or the fall and just find some kind of work, And in this time, I met a guy who, he was actually the manager of Willie's Sports Bar in Westchester. We were just having a conversation, but this guy was hilarious. He would deliver food to people's tables as Rodney Dangerfield or Jack Nicholson. Or nice. He was like, everybody loved this guy, and he and I hit it off. And we would, I was eating dinner there almost every night because I was working at Kenwood Mall and driving to Westchester where my parents lived, and I just stopped there for dinner every night. And I got to know this guy, and one night we were talking, I was making him laugh, and he goes, you're really funny. You ever thought about doing anything with that? And my dream was to be on SNL. There's nothing more I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. That was like the biggest influence on my sense of humor growing up. Yeah. And so I told him, I thought I said, I want to be on Saturday Night Live. And I thought maybe I'd try stand up just to see what that's like. And the guy gets real serious with me and he's like, are you joking with me? And I'm like, no, I mean, I've thought about it, I think it'd be fun. And he goes, you can't tell anybody else here this. And he goes, but that's my background. He goes, I moved here from LA when there was a comedy boom in the 80s and there were 3 comedy clubs in Cincinnati. And I was teaching a class at UC in stand-up comedy. And then when the boom died, I had to support my family. So I just started in the restaurant business, and now this is what I do. But nobody here knows that about me. And he goes, I'm being serious. And the next day he brought me his resume. He had a doctorate in theater. And he goes, there would be nothing more that I would like than to help you do an open mic night. He goes, it's what I used to do for people, and it would mean so much to me if you would just do one open mic night and I could help you with it. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I've thought about it. And he stayed on me. And he goes, I'm scheduling you a date. This was like September. This is September of 97. And the earliest he could get me on stage somewhere was an open mic in Dayton in February of 98. And so we set the date. I started telling everybody. I'd write stuff and then bring it to him. And he would say, no, this is too easy. Or another comedian already talks about this. And he would help me with my material for months before I ever did an open mic night.
Super knowledgeable then.
Wow.
Yeah. It was real fate, serendipity type moment of my life.
Very fate.
Yeah.
Plus, you were trying to ease away from it.
And I just love that he nailed you down to it too. Like, you're doing this.
Yeah. Well, I think it was. I really do believe it meant as much to him. Like it was an itch that hadn't been scratched in a long time. And so he got me to do my first open mic. It was a month before my 21st birthday, which was at the time very young. Kids now are starting at 15, 14 years old, at school talent shows. But I was by far the youngest around here when I started. And so in this same amount of time where I'm debating, do I want to go back to school or what, Procter & Gamble reaches out and they say, we heard you did a good job for us as a contractor. We have some positions that we think you might be a fit for if you'd like to apply. So I applied for P&G to be an actual employee of them. Right. And then it took a year before I got the job. It was just a real rigorous process because I didn't have a degree. By the time I found out I got the job, it was a full year. And in that year, I had been doing open mic nights and starting to really fall in love with stand-up. Yeah. And so I got the job at P&G, and they wanted me to finish school at night, but I was too far down the road of using my nights to be at the comedy club. So that's what I did. For the next 3 years, I did stand-up at night, and I worked at P&G during the day. I would use my vacation days to take road gigs with, Mitch Hedberg and these comics that were kind of big names at the time that were offering to bring me on the road. That's how I would spend my vacation days. At North Dakota in February, my coworkers are like, "This is where you're going."
Not cold at all.
Yeah, and I was having fun at P&G. I was trying to keep it light, because I felt like if I was going to stay there, I didn't want to be in a job that I dreaded going to every day. So I tried to make it fun while I was there. Yeah. And so 3 years later, I'm pretty far down the road doing stand-up in terms of really starting to get how to be successful with it. And P&G announced cutbacks. And before they said who has to go, they said who wants to go. And so I raised my hand and I thought, at the time, I think I was 24. And I felt like if it didn't work out, I was young enough that I could still get back into corporate America. Yeah. Wasn't married, didn't have children. So I thought, let's give it a shot. And so Friday the 13th, July 13th, 2001 was my last day at P&G. And that's when I started out on the road. And I was able to get a little bit of work for the rest of that year. In December of 2001, I ended up in South Bend, Indiana. I'm a huge Notre Dame football fan.
That works.
And so I wanted to play the club in South Bend. And the lady there just kind of took a liking to me. And she was like, "You must be booked all the time." And I'm like, I can't I can't get a lot of work, because there's so many comics. I mean, it sounds like 1,000 years ago, but literally at that time, you would mail a VHS tape to a comedy club, hope that they watched it, and hope that they liked it enough to book you.
Back.
Yeah. But I mean, there's 1,000 comedians that are doing the same thing. So like, it was a real sales type, environment where you gotta get your foot in the door. Right. And so I told her, I said, when I get into a club, they'll have me back. It's getting in that's the hard part. And so she agreed to make phone calls for me because other clubs always take the phone call from other clubs. Yeah. And that next year, 2002. Was my first full calendar year on the road. I worked 50 out of 52 weeks that year on the road. Wow. I mean, I'd be gone 6 to 8 weeks at a time without even coming home to my apartment.
Wow. You were single at the time, right?
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, like, no strings, and you're just out there experiencing it, man. That's
right.
Awesome.
And at the time, it's like, every hotel was nicer than my apartment. I'd never been to any of these cities, so I wanted to see the country.
You got good continental breakfast.
Yeah.
Great continental breakfast.
And it was like I'm living my dream as a, mid-20s. So, of course, I took every ounce of work that I could get. Yeah. And then along that pathway, I would meet these headliners who'd been in it for 35 years, and they were disgruntled, and they hated comedy for what it took from them in terms of like personal relationships. They were divorced, or they didn't have relationships with their kids because they were on the road during all their formative years, and it was really sad, And as much as I love stand-up, I didn't ever want to get to a point where I felt like I resented it because of all the things that it took from me if it didn't put me at the top of the mountain, right? So around 2005, I met my business partner, Darren. He was dabbling in stand-up. He had an entrepreneur mind, and we just hit it off. We both love to play golf. So we were out playing golf one day, and he had made some money by creating a Monopoly game for deer hunters called Whitetailopoly. There's a company in Cincinnati called Late for the Sky, and if you've ever been to the airport or in a gift shop and you see like Chocolate-opoly or Dogopoly or all these like really specific themed games, there's a company in Cincinnati makes them. And he had gone to them with this concept of a Monopoly game for hunters, and did all the art, developed the whole thing himself. He bought it from this company, like had them produce it, and then he went to like Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's and gift shops and got it in those stores. Yeah. Wow. And at the time I was working as the opener for the Blue Collar Comedy Tour guys, so Ron White and Larry the Cable Guy and them. And I saw that their fan base bought anything with their faces on it. So I said, let's make a Monopoly game for the blue collar guys. And so we put this whole concept together, and I presented it to my manager. And by the time we got done with it, they had become so popular that they weren't even touring together anymore. They were just out by themselves. And so the project kind of was dead in the water, but we had so much fun working on it. They were like, what else could we do? And at the time, funny T-shirts were all the rage. Right. Yes. So like, just movie quotes on shirts. Right. And so we were like, let's start a T-shirt company. And so the goal for me at that moment was not for it to be successful right out of the gate, but hopefully by the time I had a family, I could at least have another source of income that I wouldn't have to be on the road all the time. What you want to do. Yeah, and that's kind of where the entrepreneur stuff started for me, was getting this funny T-shirt company off the ground in hopes that one day it would do something. And then that was 20 years ago now, and we have Cincy shirts with 2 stores here in town, 5 different online apparel brands that we own with different themes. Yeah. And it's a real company. It started out with
this is legit.
It started out, printing shirts
some damn funny shirts.
Yeah. They were out of his apartment. We paid a local screen printer to make them for us, and we kept the inventory in his apartment. And if we got 2 orders a day, it was the greatest thing ever.
That's what's cool about your all's company is what you just said there. Like, it's not really about making the shirt; it's the ideas and art of the comedy that goes behind it. And I also see how quickly you guys jump. on something.
You guys are quick to.
So I know I can just picture you now, like laying in bed, like you see something, you're like.
Yeah,
We need a T-shirt on this.
that's exactly right. Our G chat is active 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Every time something starts getting active,
Yeah.
making a decision. Do we do a shirt on this?
Yeah,
Do
we have
print it?
2 full-time designers and a sales guy, and then Darren and myself, and then a guy who runs the social media and customer service for us, who's also a local comic. We are constantly in contact with each other of, all right, this just happened. Last night, Hunter Green's got a no-hitter, 2 outs in the 7th inning. What's the shirt going to be if this happens?
Right.
We got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to be known for that because it wasn't what we started. What we started out at was vintage. We had the funny stuff, and then when we launched Cincy shirts, being from here, I just understood the nostalgia people have for different brands that like ignite a memory for people who grew up here.
Bro,
Exactly. It's like when I would show somebody the funny t-shirt site, and the way we got that off the ground was I'd be on the radio in these different cities telling people about the shows that weekend at the comedy club, but I would wear one of our funny t-shirts, and whenever the host would ask about it, I'd be like, oh, this Randy Watson Coming to America shirt, like, I made this, and then that was how I would plug our funny shirts. And I noticed when I would show someone that site, they would see our 200 designs, and they'd be like, "These are great. I like that one. That's my favorite." But when we launched Cincy shirts, and you showed that website to someone from Cincinnati, they're like, "I want every single one of these."
Because it's iconic.
Well, you're narrowing in all these things too.
Yeah. I mean, if you went to Johnny's Toys when you were a kid with the key to the castle, or, partied at Caddy's, or, you know what I mean? It was just like
all the stuff.
Yeah. And then you're like, man, if people from Cincinnati feel this way about Cincinnati stuff, then people from Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Louisville are going to feel that way about their stuff. So that's how Old School shirts was born. Was the desire to come up with these designs for other cities outside of Cincinnati. Yeah. And
you ever
then
thought about getting insiders, like other comics from
I
those
did.
cities?
That's exactly what I did.
Because that would be hard if you're not from the area, to figure out what it is.
Tell me, what is your Cincinnati chili?
Yes, that's exactly what I did. I went to my buddies from Milwaukee or wherever else, and I'd give them some context. Like, this was the weather guy that everybody liked. Who was that guy? This was the toy store. This is the roller coaster that everybody thought they were going to die on when they rode it. You know what I mean? And so I would get my.
Dude, that's so smart.
Yeah. It was the only way to know how to do it, And I would just tell them the only rule is it can't still be around. Like it has to be gone long enough that the trademark has expired and I can put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I wonder how like right now you can't do any like Skyline stuff, but you could probably fiddle around Cincinnati.
Well, we do Skyline because we eventually got a licensing deal with them, but at the time,
Make
yes,
a Ponderosa shirt.
yeah.
Yes,
That's right.
Call them up right now. Ponderosa shirt, get it out in the
Bonanza, even deeper cut. Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome, dude. That is such a cool idea.
And it was just that. I mean, you guys get it, that feeling of like building something from nothing. Like I kind of did it with stand up, and then I did it with the T-shirts with my business partner is like the rock of our business, because I was on the road all the time, and he was doing the day to day, and he still does, and it's like we wouldn't be anywhere without him, but we had an understanding of like, you get paid in the company for your job. Yeah. I'll get paid for my job, and they don't have to be the same. And then whatever the company makes, we'll split that up 50-50. Because I never wanted to feel animosity that like he was putting in
That's the way
10 hours a day and I was putting in 2.
They're like, hey, let's go into business together and we'll do 50-50. and one guy always does more work
Right.
than the other guy, then they get pissed and it never works. But
Right.
You have
with
to understand that.
yeah, with your idea, hey, this is my job. I'm just going to throw a number. I'm getting paid $15 an hour to do this. You're getting paid $20 an hour for yours, and we'll just split everything after that.
Yes.
That works.
Yes.
as
That's
a
the way.
partnership.
That's the way I have my lawn care and plumbing company.
It's,
Exactly.
I mean, that's
exactly how I do it. Yep.
Yeah, it's the only way I think it'll work, because over time I think it'll catch up to you if there's resentment on either side. So I wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize such an awesome business partner.
You got a good review already in our chat.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, from Clinton Johnson. I purchased some items from Cincy Shirts online. They have great quality shirts. There you go.
Thank you.
Now, do you guys do any?
Thank you, Clint.
Is it just only? Do you have any type of custom stuff that you do or anything
Yeah.
like that?
Well, that's
So
what.
can I bring this brand over?
Yeah,
to
of course
guys?
you can. We do.
I need somebody bad because it's bad.
We do that stuff
There's some mistakes
all the
on
time.
here. Let's just say that.
Mistakes were made.
I see that your lettering is totally fine at that small, and mine is not doing well over here.
So
This is Lids, by the way.
that's lids.
Lids did this.
Well, I mean,
They
you
got
got,
the
you
graphic
got,
designer, I
you
gave
got
him
it
the
made
logo.
in Florence Mall. I mean,
They got the Alibaba embroidery machines over there.
So it's funny you say that, because initially it was just T-shirts. It was only T-shirts and only ones that we made, because we had to control our inventory. We weren't making them for ourselves, so we tried to limit the designs we did, limit how many colors were in them, because
Make sure
if
you
we
print
sold
profits.
one, we got to print 12 and then hope the other 11 sell, right? And so with the evolvement of the technology where you could do print on demand and full color, it really opened the opportunities for us to do bigger designs for us, but also work with brands and stuff like that who might have a ton of colors in their logo but don't want to commit to doing 72, 144 pieces or more. Right. We can do one-offs in our store.
Right.
And so for us, all of our brands were just online until 2014. We decided we were going to give brick and mortar retail a shot, because so many people would see us at the Music Fest or Taste of Cincinnati or somewhere, and they go, "Where's your store?" And we're like, "We're just online," And then come Christmas, the post office would say, "You got to mail it by December 6th if you want it guaranteed by Christmas." And we're getting calls at, or emails on the 23rd or Christmas Eve going, I need to come to your store and get some. And we're like, our cutoff was 3 weeks ago,
Sorry.
And, yeah. And so enough of that was like, let's just try a store. And there was a place on Main Street. A friend of mine worked for a real estate place down there. There'd been a boutique in there, so no real work had to be done inside. It was just an empty storefront, and they were going to give us a 3-month lease, November, December, January of 2014.
Dude, that's perfect. That way it's seasonal if it didn't.
Never
Yeah,
heard of a
it was like a
3-month
Halloween Express of T-shirts, And so we bought fixtures on Craigslist. We picked what we thought were our best sellers, and opened this little store just for 3 months just to see how it went. And we did great. It was awesome. And then
What year was this?
This was 2014.
Okay.
And so 2015, they're like, do you want to do it for a year? Like, you want to lease for a year? And the All-Star game was in town. And we thought, let's just see what a year's like. Yeah, let's just see what a year's like downtown when the All-Star game's here. And so we had a good summer. And then in the fall, they announced that FC Cincinnati was going to be a new minor league soccer team. And so we went to the ownership or marketing group at FC Cincinnati and went to lunch with them at Eli's downtown and said, we want to make fan gear for the team. Yeah. You guys are doing the jerseys and the scarves. Let us just make T-shirts. And they're like, we haven't even played a game yet. And they're like, yeah, just you guys do that.
Let us cook.
Let us do fan gear.
Here.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, And we bought season tickets to kind of grease the wheel a little bit. And so come February, right? They play their first match, huge crowd. second match, they break the league attendance record for most fans at a USL game.
I didn't realize how big soccer was here, dude.
Yeah.
Until like that started just blowing up. I had no clue.
Well, I played soccer growing up. St. Bernard didn't have a football team, so we all played soccer, and I was a fan of soccer. And every time that they tried to start any type of level professional, it was always minor league. It was always like we're going to play our games at this field down by the river on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. There was never any real movement behind like getting like a real thing off the ground. But this one was like Toyota's the sponsor, Lindner is the backer. It's one step below MLS. They're playing at Nippert at
facility.
Yeah, I was like, I think this might have a chance to actually be something. Right. And so they break their attendance record in the second game. They've got 20,000 people going to games.
And it's wild.
And
like
no one has
parade.
merch.
No one has
No,
merch.
literally no one's ever been to a game. And the team, they sold out in 2 weeks. And so they're like, go to Cincy shirts. We're the only one that's printing it. So we were busier than we'd ever been because people just needed something to wear to a game because they were going for the first time ever.
That's wild.
And so we used that money to open up Hyde Park. That's when we brought production in-house. And then
So you have machines and everything now.
we have machines at both of our stores, so we can print on demand in the store if you come in and we
How
don't
quick
have
is
what you
turnaround?
want. I mean, 10, 15 minutes if you're just waiting on a shirt.
Embroidery?
Not embroidery.
Okay.
Just
Print.
the apparel.
Okay.
But we just, we've moved to Hyde Park. Fiona's born at the zoo. We raise $100,000 for Team Fiona, selling hippopotamus merchandise.
You're grabbing on to the hot item, and that's what it's all about.
And we get the local recognition.
You have to be first.
You have to be
Nostalgia.
first.
You have to be first.
And people start to trust our brand. We win Best of Cincinnati and City Beat for like 9 out of 10 years. We opened a store in Loveland, and we parlay that into a Major League Baseball Players Association license so we can do real licensed apparel for any Major League Baseball player. So that gets us to launch our In the Clutch brand so we can do sports stuff for other markets. And like fast forward this year, we just got our first order into Dick's. So now we've got orders. It started with Pete Rose here locally when they reinstated him. And then now we've got product in Dick's in Detroit and Texas and Seattle and San Diego. So that's starting to grow for us. But all of that presence here locally started getting business to go, do you ever do custom stuff?
Yeah.
And so we started to build our custom business up and have a guy who that's his whole job is custom stuff. And we got to a real sweet spot where online sales, custom jobs, and our brick and mortar retail were each a third of our business's income. Nice. So we didn't have all our eggs in one basket, which I think is very important to a business. Like you talk about, plumbing and landscaping and real estate.
You guys ever thought about, you have the infrastructure, and I've just seen another company do this, but what if you enabled other people's brands to have their own site and all that, and you're like the fulfillment? Do you have that?
We do that as well. Yeah.
Nice.
If
So
they
I
have
can
their own
make
site.
my site with you guys and sell my merch off of it, and I don't have to touch it?
That's correct.
That is what I want.
Yeah.
Here you are.
The only conversation that comes down to is who captures the sale, but we've done a lot of learning over the years of like in scenarios like that, what's the best setup, but there's the technology between Shopify and all its plugins and just how popular e-commerce has become. There's tools out there to make any scenario happen. So if you capture the sale, we just hook your site up to ShipStation so that it goes out and looks for new orders, and then it just puts it right into the workflow. And then our people at our production center just, who's next? All right, this is going out for, Make Your Move, and this one's going out for Cincy shirts, and this one's going out for Old School shirts. But it just all gets into a singular workflow, and they just print the next thing.
So is your business partner, is he like a big systems and processes dude? Does he just love, or is it you're more the automated or
Neither one of us.
Really?
I mean, I have my background's in IT, so if there's troubleshooting that has to be done, or we need to figure out how to get some kind of plug-in to work, like that part will usually
easy
fall
for
to
you.
me. But he's come a long way. But his background, he moved here from Northeast Ohio. He went to the Art Academy. He's an artist and an incredible artist, and like how much he's learned about business and the day-to-day stuff, but also the technical side. But we don't have that person. Sometimes we need that person. Sometimes we'll farm out that project, and that's the other thing. Learning the resources that are available to you, whether it's temp work in your warehouse or temp work on the back end of your website. There's places out there that can step in and help you as an expert instead of you spending months to learn how to do something.
And I think it's so important to stay lean. I don't care how big you get. Like you watch all these companies that grow and then they just get so heavy, and then you have so much money going out for those things. Yeah, I mean, if you can keep it that way, that's the best thing. I mean, I always started everything from Google Drive. I mean, that's everything that I start from, and then I build up once I hit certain levels. And
Google Drive and Apple Notes, dude.
Yeah, that's how I've started.
It is and
WhatsApp as well.
The simplest things.
Yeah.
And it can keep a $5 million company running with two guys. And
the automation stuff that's out there.
It's crazy.
It's huge.
Right.
We found a company recently called Rhythm that basically what they'll do, right now, if we come up with a new shirt, we got to manually upload it to Cincy shirts, to old school shirts, to In the Clutch. If it's a sports design, we have to upload it to Amazon. We got to upload it to eBay, right?
Oh, geez,
So we found this company called Rhythm that basically will keep all of your products in a singular database, and then you just attach your different sales channels to it. You upload it once, and you push it to Target, you push it to Walmart, And so, like, when you find a tool like that and you can actually get it to work, like, not only does it put your product in more places, but it frees up your time to focus on growing the business.
Right.
We have a guy, I'm going to butcher this name probably. Segi. Isho.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Guy. Yeah.
Josh doesn't give himself enough credit. Anyone can start a T-shirt company, but without high-level comedic mind, it wouldn't work as well.
Absolutely.
The genius is in the content of the shirts. That's what he said.
It's very kind of him to say that. He's a good friend. And that's what I think is so valuable about our team, is that we have really smart people in the room to come up with the concept, but then we have the talent on the creative side in our graphic designers to execute it. Right. So when I'm in there rambling about, all right, I'm picturing, Hunter Green and his dog, like sitting on, and I'm just like rambling.
A bunch of artists working.
My guy's like,
awesome.
20 minutes later, he's like, something like this. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it.
That's it.
Yeah. And
that's
then,
nice to have on your team, man.
It really is.
That right there is like, take my weaknesses and make them strengths.
Yeah. I mean, and we've gone through a lot of graphic designers,
Sure,
and finding someone who understands the tone and the aesthetic.
He's able to read
for
what
your
you're
brand.
Saying. When you're like this in the air, he can like see what you're doing.
Yeah,
so
and we got two of them, and my
people.
partner can also do it when he has to.
Yeah, awesome.
That's great.
And we have the sales guys, the local comedian, the guy who does our socials and customer response is another comedian. And so having people like that can also engage with your customers in a way that doesn't feel like AI or a canned response that was just copy and pasted also goes a long way when it comes to how people view your brand outside of just how good your product is. And I'm going to shout out Segi if you like music, which I think most of us do.
Music.
Segi is part of a group called Straight No Chaser. They're a 9-piece a cappella group. They play the Taft every December, and it's Sell It Out. Amazing show. They tour all over the world. Highly recommend checking them out. Straight No Chaser. I'm giving him a plug because he's kind enough to pop in on this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So-
we love music.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Music's pretty good.
I've realized how weird I am because I literally shared with them the other day. I'm sitting down in my basement working, right? And I have classical instrumental music on, and I'm absolutely just vibing out. And I shared it, and Richie's like, "Oh man, you're there," and I'm like, "Yeah, I love this." Like, I don't know why.
I mean,
I listen to
classical
cinematic
music,
trailer
though,
music constantly.
that's like intelligence music, though. Like it's like been proven if you play it during certain ages of newborn, they have a higher IQ when they grow up. It's been proven.
But then I'll go to rap and then hip hop or hip hop and then rock and roll and country. I'm just a mess.
I'm the same way.
I'm all over the place
Every
as well.
day.
If
Different.
it sounds good, man, it's music.
Yeah.
If it hits your soul, it's good. So
And sometimes it's a podcast.
It is.
Like legit. Like I'll be in the car and I'll, if I got to drive, I might switch over to a podcast of somebody that I, admire or an entertainer, and just get inspired that way.
Is any of your comedy on Apple yet? I've noticed that comedy is on Apple also, which I discovered, so you can drive around and just laugh.
Well, it's on Apple in the sense that it's weird to say iTunes because I feel like I haven't even used that in a while.
Yeah.
You can purchase it in
Yeah.
iTunes, my new special,
Nice.
Fat Ryan, but it's on Amazon Prime. It'll be on YouTube here before long.
So it's already on Amazon Prime. We can go watch it there.
You can purchase it there.
Yeah. Let's go purchase it, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spend $10 and watch it. It's
I
filmed
mean,
right here in
My
Memorial
kid's
Hall.
in the other room buying whatever after whatever. He knows the code, so
And it's
or-
clean,
well,
so you
throw
can
in.
watch it
See,
with the kids.
family movie night tonight. Let's buy it.
That's one thing I do like about your comedy too. Is it's you're hilarious, but it's also you're not going over the line. Like anybody can listen to this.
Well,
relate.
I've always been pretty clean because I was taught you get more work. You as an MC especially, you'll get more work because if the club knows I can put them up in front of anybody, clean or dirty, then they're more likely to pick you. Whereas if you're dirty, they can only put you up in front of dirty.
Right.
And the guy that I was telling you about that got me started in this, he gave me a great line. I still think about it today, and I share it with younger comics today, is he said, treat profanity like a spice. He's like, it could make a steak taste really good, but you would never eat a plate of oregano for dinner. And it always
genius,
stuck
man.
with me.
That's great.
Always stuck with me. And then eventually I did this thing for a company called Dry Bar out of Utah. This company was trying to build the world's largest library of clean stand-up comedy. And they set up this little theater in Provo that's like a 12-camera shoot. And it looks incredible. And when they were just getting going, a buddy of mine did it. And I wasn't really thinking much about the Dry Bar brand. But I just wanted a good tape. I needed a new tape that I could send to comedy clubs or corporate gigs to try to get more work. So I went out to film it just to get a tape. And then the Dry Bar brand blew up because they had done this partnership with Facebook, who was losing content creators to YouTube. They were trying to figure out how to monetize content on Facebook and keep people creating content there. So they chose Dry Bar to be one of the pilot programs and just started throwing out Dry Bar's content to everybody. And it was more response than I got for anything that I ever did for Comedy Central. And I realized, I mean, you've seen with the rise of like Nate Bargatze and Jim Gaffigan, there's a real market out there for clean comedy.
Yeah.
And when I had the success from Dry Bar, I just, at that moment, I realized the people coming out to see me were expecting it to be squeaky clean, and I just leaned into it. And ever since then, that's how I write. Every show I do is squeaky clean because I want people to know they can have it on in the car or at home, no matter who's around, and not have to worry about it.
The relatable stuff. My favorite joke of yours is what's it?
The HVAC?
HVAC.
Because we've all been there, right? It's like, I really don't want to try to figure this out. Like, I just want to call somebody, but I'm going to get harassed if this isn't something really in depth.
Yeah.
All right. So that is, oh man.
Yeah, that's a true story. That's 100%
Those are the best
true
ones,
story.
right? Yeah.
Had a
It's
guy-
easier to remember a true story than something that
Life
just
is
made
funny.
up 'cause
Life is funny.
it
If you
is.
just remember to write it down, life
Yeah.
is hilarious.
It is. And it's also helped me avoid situations that I think a lot of comics where they just write about some popular topic and you realize like, oh, 5 other people have that same joke.
Right.
When you write about stuff that happened to you with your wife or your kids or, whatever, like the risk of someone else having that same story is pretty much nil. So,
Wow.
The one thing I'm gonna bring up, because I remember your wife dressing up as NSYNC with my sister.
That's right. That's right.
In high school.
That's what I was gonna bring up next, too.
And I,
Well, not that
man,
part.
we will all say we're all blessed with like really cool wives.
yeah.
So like, how has she really helped you? I mean, she's watching the kids if you're on the road.
Yeah.
you're
Shout
doing-
out
and-
to
and
Jenny.
she's
Yeah.
freaking hilarious
Dub
too.
V.
She's very funny.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I mean,
She's
that's
a Dub
just
V
cool.
rider.
Like,
She ever told you about Dub V riders?
I don't think so.
That's
Give me
prob-
some stuff to take home. I mean, please. I never.
Just when you walk into the house, just be like Dub V riders.
She'll
She'll understand. Hopefully, she's not watching this, so it'll have a good impact.
I'm sure she's watching.
She'll probably be like this. She'll be like, walk away. She was funny too. I remember that. Like she's really funny. So is that something that? Tell us the story how you guys met and all that. 'Cause I haven't actually heard all
The
that.
story is pretty funny, actually. So when I recorded my first album for Comedy Central, I wanted to do it at Go Bananas, and I didn't know that night that Jenny was in the audience. She was there with her now ex-boyfriend, who was a big fan of mine. They were
Cool.
they were.
Hopefully this is in your skits.
I've
already
thought
funny.
about putting it
It's
in
already
there.
funny.
It's a funny story to tell, but they were not doing well at the time. It was his birthday, and she had bought tickets for it, so she agreed to go reluctantly because he wanted to go. And then after the show, she sent me a friend request on MySpace. If that tells you how long ago it was.
got serious.
no message or anything.
Sealed the deal.
And I'm like, who is this?
Yes.
Hottie. And I see she's in a relationship, and she was very respectful to him. I was very persistent on trying to get her to have a conversation with me, and she basically just said, I don't know how long I'm going to be in a relationship, but respectfully, I would like to make sure that I'm through that before I have any conversations with you. So several months later, I ended up meeting her, actually getting to meet her when she was single.
Yeah.
And we've been together ever since, obviously. But, she, at the time, she was working at the University of Dayton in the athletic department. And she was on the road with the women's basketball team. So during basketball season, she was gone more than I was. Yeah. And I think that the reason that we worked out was because every other person I had dated, when they're like, oh, you're a comedian, that's really cool, and then like a couple months later, it's like
They're sitting at home mad as hell.
Gone a lot. Yeah. And so she understood my life. She understood what it was like to be gone and live out of a suitcase. And I feel like that was never a hurdle that we had to overcome, that it was with everybody else, because she got it, Yeah. And so because of that, we were able to understand each other's schedules. And then, she's always been super supportive of me. And it's just, she's the best.
Yeah. The last time I saw, this is what's funny. And this is why I thought to message you was, I'd been watching your stuff, and I'm like, man, he's married to Jenny. And then what's funny is, like, a little soon after, we both ran into each other at Dick's Sporting Goods, going through the same worst trying to find shoes part of my life. Like, there is nothing worse than going to the Dick's Sporting Goods for me. And I'm always last minute on any sports thing or any school. And you're going there, and then your kid's picking out, like, I want the $200 pair of shoes. And I want this. And I'm like, just give me something that's here. Like, this is awful.
You have a game in 30 minutes.
Yes.
And it's this or Crocs. So just put them on.
I like the Crocs. Fuck! You can't wear those.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It sounds kind of funny how that, it just reminded me, like, dude, I'm going to reach out. I'm
I'm glad you did, man.
So tell me about, like, when you were young, real quick. Were you the funny guy, and then like you didn't really understand it until you got older? Because like what I found out about like my what I do now is I was always the guy with the camera at school. I've probably got pictures of Jenny senior year in the yearbook and all that stuff. Like, I was that guy, but I never realized that I should be a videographer. So were you like the funny guy back then? And
Yeah.
Who told you were funny?
Yeah, my dad. My
Were you
dad
funny,
was
or were
funny.
you just, what were you doing in high school? Tell me.
No, it all makes sense if I look back at it now. You know,
Right.
My dad was so funny. He was like the guy that everybody loved my dad, like everybody, and he was the guy that people went to when they needed cheered up for something. And I picked up on that at a very early age, and I played sports, but I was never the best. So I was always with the cool kids, but I was the funny guy with the cool kids, you know.
Nice.
And so, like I said, I was obsessed with Saturday Night Live, and then I could tell you all the movies that, Naked Gun and or even before that, Airplane and Caddyshack and
stuff.
And my dad worked for Kenner Toys in Cincinnati. He made Star Wars toys. And,
That's awesome. Not Star Trek, huh? Jeez,
Yeah,
Pete's
not
gonna
Star
freak out.
Trek. I'm sorry if you're Star Trek. We don't talk about Star. That's it. The ST is how we refer to. But
love
honestly,
Star Trek.
as a kid, like
Upset.
I think that his job influenced who he was outside of his job. He was a big kid, and him and his coworkers, like, we would go visit him on days where I was off school, but he had to work. My mom would take me and my sister downtown to go see Dad at work, and all of his coworkers were the same personality type, just funny, playful. How could you not be working at a place like that?
Having a good ass
Yeah.
time, weren't they?
And so I just got hooked on making people laugh. And when I was in high school, there was a group of us that we got to be known as the Detention Club because we just got in so much trouble for making people laugh. We all were like straight A students.
Isn't that sad?
It is, but it's also kind of fun because years later, your teachers would come. They'd come see me at the comedy club.
Look,
and
we
just
actually
say,
liked you
I'm
back
so proud of you.
Yeah, so proud of you. I didn't want to get you in trouble.
But even in high school, they would say, like my government teacher, God love her, like we were just we were so mean to her. And I remember one thing we were talking about Billy Madison,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And there was that scene in Billy Madison where he scrapes up the dog poop into the bag and then he lights it on fire on the old man's porch to get him to come out and step on it. Yes. And as a junior in high school, like, I don't think I've seen anything funnier, right? Like, we were all talking about it at school. And so we tell Miss Jackson, we're telling her about this scene, and we go, we're gonna do that to you. We're gonna put dog poop on your porch.
You
and
warned her.
Straight told her.
And she goes, you'll never find me. I had my name and number removed from the phone book because of kids like you. Good luck finding me. Well, my mom was president of the Board of Education, so she had a faculty and staff directory at our house. And our government class, she would come from the other side of the school to our class. So a lot of times we would be seated when the bell rang and she wasn't even in the room yet. So the next day she comes into class and her home address is written up on the chalkboard.
Oh, no.
And the look on her face. And so we got so many detentions. The reason we were called the Detention Club is because it got so bad that she would have detention slips already filled out with our name on it so that all she had to do was write in the date. And then it got so bad that she would hand me a detention slip as I walked into the room. And if I was good, I was allowed to give it back to her at the end to save her the time of having to walk it over to my desk. But when we would be in detention, she would say, it's really funny, but like I can't let you get away with it. So we would just hang out and talk in detention. But it was like, that was my thing. If she was writing a detention slip and laughing while doing it, it was worth it.
That's like a fucking.
It was worth it
That
in
was
the
like
end.
that was like the beginning of the tickets for the comedy club.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
And
So
sh-
to answer my question, yes, you
yeah.
were the funny guy.
That is
So I was the funny guy.
It's all fell together correctly.
It's so addictive. I mean, like, there's still,
It's food for
to
the soul,
this
man.
day, nothing like it, especially when it's a room full of strangers and you just have them right here hanging on every word. When I did my Comedy Central special, I tell this story about farting on Jessica Simpson on an airplane because she wasn't nice to me. And I will never forget being in that theater in New York at like one of the benchmark moments of my career, something that I literally dreamed of doing before I did an open mic night. Like, I'm filming a special,
Yeah.
and I have this group of people completely silent, hanging on every word while I tell this story, and it's just like there's nothing else that gives me that kind of rush to this day.
Punchline hits too.
And then you hit it, and it's just it's
but-
crazy. Yeah, it's the best. That's why when
we all
you guys
want
say,
to do this.
It really is awesome.
but
It
you
really
should
is.
try it. I tell everybody
Yeah.
you should try it at least once. You know, it's like serving.
Well, if we can get a cool headliner to open up for us, we might have
open
some
up for you?
success.
To open up.
I'll open up for you guys. But seriously, like, everyone should try it once, because I tell people it's like serving. Like, even if no matter how good it goes, you'll leave with the respect of what it's like to do it. Like, I served for 3 months while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do between getting started with stand up and, dealing with the fact that I wasn't in college. And in that 3 months, like, it taught me that I will never not tip again, ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I had such a respect for people that do it. And that's why I'm like, try stand up, go for it. If you love it, keep doing it. And if you don't, you'll go, man, that was hard. And I respect people that do it for a living.
I was at Bayou Bluegrass Catering at the University of Kentucky, and it was a really high-end like catering business. And they had my dumb self out running around serving, right? And like, that's not my gig. And they made you carry everything up top. And then they gave me the table that Miss Kentucky was sitting at. And I'll never forget, I like put down that plate and it all started to like go. And it was so bad, like everybody at the table had already been like, "Ah!" And I was like, and threw it back here. And like, I never carried a tray after that. I swear to you, I was like, dude, y'all can fire me.
It's hard.
I will stay back here and I will literally clean dishes, okay? But I am not out there anymore.
It's hard as fuck, dude.
It's really hard. Yeah.
It's hard.
Your writing process, I know you said you use a lot of stories and stuff like that, and this kind of ties in with what you just said. Like, everybody thinks they can just like hop up there and do it probably, but there's probably a lot of prep that goes into it, and there's probably like, yeah, this story happened and it was kind of funny, but how do I turn this into a joke?
Yeah.
And that's what
That's
we
the
were
key.
discussing.
That's the
How do
key.
you turn an
Yeah.
idea into an actual joke that has a punchline that pulls the people in, keeps them
Right.
silent, and then hits?
Yeah, that's it. I always say it's the guess you had to be there. Trying to avoid having to say that at the end of a story. You want to make them feel like they were there. I'm working on a new little, with this new special that's out. I want to try to have supplemental content that I put out, kind of like what you guys are doing with this podcast, where you have the full thing, but then you have the little clips from it. So one thing that I want to start doing is posting these photos that I've taken over the 27 years of doing stand-up with famous comedians or actors or just really funny people that people might not know who they are or who they were. And I want to post a picture with me kind of superimposed at the bottom telling a story about that person or why you should know, because I think I have some really cool things that have happened to me over my career, and I want to call it "You Had to Be There."
Nice.
But my writing process has evolved over the years because I used to be a guy that I would sit down and I would go to a coffee shop and I'd write out everything that I wanted to say word for word, and then I'd study it. And it just never worked for me because I felt like it always came across scripted. Right. And what I started getting momentum was when people would come up to me after the shows and they'd go, "Man, it's like you were just talking. It's like you were just up there talking and we were hanging out and you were telling stories. And I was like, that's what I want.
Right.
And what I realized was if I didn't write down every word, if I just wrote down like a couple of words that reminded me of what I wanted to talk about, and then I worked it out while I was on stage, it would force me to talk on stage the same way I would talk off stage instead of like, and then I'll tweak it a little bit, you know,
because you're reading the room at the same time too, probably.
Yeah. And I'll go, that line worked and that one did. And then I just get better at telling the story. But the whole time I'm doing it in the way that I would normally speak. And I think when you do that, it comes across more conversational than someone is doing an act. And then I try to pour as much into the segues between jokes and the order that I'm doing jokes because I want it to feel like a seamless hour versus like 12 5-minute bits.
Right.
So that when somebody comes down and they're like, I just listened to one 60-minute story, that's what I want them to leave with. I want them to forget they're at a comedy club. Because when I watch comedians and they do a joke about their dog, and then they go, so who plays softball? And you're like, how did you know?
So that's what you love in the art of it is
Yeah.
The smoothness
I love
of
that.
it.
But I think that's why I haven't done late night television. I've never been able to do the 4.5-minute set where you have to chop up, you know, your act or take something that gets you, you know, a ton of laughs in a short set because my style is to do long form. I want to tell the whole story. I want to talk about this and then I call it back at the end when you think you forgot about it. I reference it again. You're like, oh yeah, that's from the other thing. You know, and it makes it hard to do a short set when you have stuff that's kind of interwoven over the course of, 45 minutes or an hour.
That's what scares me about open mic night. It's like they give you like 5 minutes to like make people laugh, and it's like my comedy style would be more like yours. Like I can't just think of like 6 funny things.
Mine's I already wrote my set, and it's one story because I know it's going to be that. But it has. I did what he said. I put comedy along the way for the big punchline.
Yeah.
And then references back to the beginning.
And mine's just corny, boring.
Yours is 8 dad
stuff.
jokes in a row that you're going to forget. You know,
There's
he came
a
in second
market.
place. On,
There's a market for it.
What was it, the B105 thing?
Yeah, I got a trip to Tampa for free because I was on B105 and I got second place.
You're
I
sitting-
should
you're
have won
sitting
though,
next-
daggone it.
you're
I
sitting
should have won. It ticks me off because there was too much of a delay. I should have won, but it's okay. I'm not mad about it.
I mean,
Where-
you're sitting
where
next-
was this?
You're sitting next to a famous
I
comedian
used to
right
do
here.
so. This is what transpired.
Okay.
I used to run a property management. I owned a property management company. I used to run it. We managed my stuff in Cincinnati. God bless them. Awful job. Just couldn't stand it. But I love my business partners and the people that work for me. So I would do a dad joke every Friday. Like, thank the Lord we are here. Maybe we won't have a leak that runs down somebody's ceiling this weekend.
Yeah.
Just monotonous. So I would do a dad joke. I'm like, it's Dad Joke Friday. And just do some stupid line.
It's great. It's important.
Then it kind of caught some momentum.
And then this contest came out for B105, and I was getting like annoyingly like 4 to 5 messages a day. Hey, have you put your dad joke on there? And what I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna put this on here, but nothing's gonna come of it. Well, like I get a call, and it had
Yes,
convenient.
you're head to head in a competition.
Yeah, it conveniently fell, which was awful. Like, thank the Lord he's still here. But my wife's dad had gone like, look, we thought he was like going to be dying. Like, I'm not exaggerating, right? She's been at the hospital for like 2 days. I've got all the kids. I'm on 3 hours of sleep, and I get a call at 7 o'clock in the morning the day prior, and they're like, hey, you've won. You're going to put you on B105 with the Big Dave show. And I'm just like, and I'm like,
Love
dude,
Big
my
Dave.
hair's everywhere. I'm in my boxers, and I'm just like, kids running everywhere. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to pull this off. I'm like, well, can you really call us back? Because we really want you on here. So I like called my dad, and he's like, you are not missing that. So I literally I had to learn how to memorize because it was a fire back. So he said it, then I said it, then he said it, then
It
I
was like
said
a
it.
rap battle war.
So I had to literally,
dad
man,
jokes.
I had to
That's amazing.
I had to learn how to memorize stuff too. And I'm going on like 3 hours of sleep. So I had 20 memorized going in. I could only remember like 13, dude. But
Sweating bullets.
I'll be honest. So I told them like that was a cool experience. Like seeing the studio and seeing like how professional like that Big Dave, like to watch him edit
The
his
best.
own stuff. Like
Yeah.
he would say it and then like people don't realize like how talented
Yeah.
that crew is.
Yeah.
It was just like I was like, dude, if I could have done this for a career, I would like this is phenomenal. Like
Before
it was
we
just
get
cool.
too far, give us an example of a dad joke.
Oh, I don't know them all off the
Oh,
rip.
you can think of one. Lindsay wants to hear one. She said it.
Well, it was the one I said was my wife left her bra on the ground and I tripped over it. It was a booby trap. So that was one of them.
That's a great.
That
that's
was
great.
one of them.
It's great.
But it's just one of those like I've kind of gotten out of it. But man, what the
hell
neat,
They're
happened to
fun.
that?
What a neat.
They're
what
fun.
A neat thing.
I've had them in my act forever. I still have them in my act.
They're
I
great.
used to do one where I used to say, I'm not really religious, but I did give up my belly button for Lent. Like just dumb jokes like that. Like those are always going to make me laugh.
Killed him.
That's good.
I absolutely love it.
It's funny because I was literally thinking about my belly button standing there as a 40-year-old Midwestern dad, thinking, man, I haven't been in there in quite some time. I don't know what's happening in there.
You got a throw pillow in there.
I got a flashlight out.
I was about to fill mine in with epoxy.
We had a guy.
I'm sick of it.
We had a guy in college. This is Brent Burchett. I love you if you're watching. This dude, when we got to college, he said, I'll never forget. He came up to me, he goes, you all want to go to a party tonight? And I was like, well, sure. We get into his car. He's like, well, here's a 24-pack of beer and a pack of Marlboro 27s. And that was Brent Burchett. Brent Burchett used to play the guitar and used to keep his guitar pick in his belly button.
What?
And would pull out the and
That's
just start
Just
shoving.
in case.
That's a massive belly
I never
button.
thought of that.
But he was one of my
It's a human
favorite
pocket.
human
It's
beings.
hilarious.
I'm going to try that when I get
He was
home.
one of my favorite human beings ever. And he is still just the best guy you ever meet. So, well, that went down a rabbit
Well,
hole.
one of the things that we do on the podcast usually when we have someone on, and we always shock them with this. Go ahead.
Spirit animals.
So we do spirit animals, and what we usually do is we go around the room and we each give what we think your spirit animal
Okay.
is. But for a twist today, since you're Mr. Funny,
You're gonna put him on the spot, aren't you?
we're gonna flip it.
Oh,
We're gonna
Lord.
make him spirit animal us.
Shit. He doesn't even know about us. We didn't even tell him.
Well,
I
we
think-
can go
dude,
around.
He is a professional. He can make fun of us easily, probably. He could probably put us in tears in 3 minutes.
Oh man,
you-
this is pressure.
Do you want us? Let's do it. We'll do ours
Let's
first.
do him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want
And
to
then
do
he can
yours.
do
Okay.
us.
Well,
Hell
I
yeah.
totally cheated because
Giggity.
I don't. We as Bengals fans don't like the Baltimore Ravens, but I think technically you are a Raven because you're witty, you're smart, you've basically they can travel and they can communicate everywhere.
Wow.
So I feel like you're a Raven, but it just stinks because I don't
It's
like
an Edgar
Baltimore
Allan Poe
Ravens.
compliment.
Yeah,
His
so
are
like
always
I feel
wow.
like
Shit.
so yeah, that's what it is. But I'm
Sometimes
not.
they're
I'm
technical
not.
too. He'll be like, they physically have talons, and I noticed your hands are strong.
Yeah, but
That's not.
But
that's not
whatever. So I mean, I think Raven, and then yeah. What are you
I
guys?
have I literally have no reason why, but it keeps popping in my head
Okay.
like a koala bear. Just nice,
Yes.
Not nice.
kind of
Wow.
like real soft spoken, just chilling.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard
That's
koala bears are fucking
Wow,
mean,
I don't know
though.
how to take that.
no. That's it makes me think of Mitch Hedberg. Actually, Mitch Hedberg had a bunch of jokes about koala bears.
Yes.
He's my favorite comic of all time. So that's the first thing I thought of when you said koala bear. That's
Hell yeah.
wow.
That's all. I really don't
I
have
just,
much reason.
I just need to come hang out here.
Well,
See a soft.
it's a
koala bear.
fun little. It's a fun.
I'm going off the radar, I guess. I'm going to say an ant.
An ant.
All right.
Ooh, builds.
Not even an uncle.
builds.
You know what?
All right,
I'm going to
let's
change
lock
it.
in.
You know
Let's-
what? You know
he's
what's fucking-
changing.
I'm changing it.
First time he's changed.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
You can do that. There's
I want
no-
why ant though? I'm curious.
Well, I'm torn between an ant and a squirrel.
okay.
You want me to give you both reasons?
Yes, absolutely I do.
Okay, so both animals are hunter-gatherers.
Yes.
But I'm going to lean more towards a squirrel because they do a thing called like sporadic harvesting. So what they'll do is they'll go find food, acorns. We'll just use acorns as an example, and they hide them in multiple spots in case one gets taken. And that's what I feel about you with the t-shirts.
Wow.
Is because
This is awesome. This is fantastic.
is because you've planted acorns on Main Street, and now you've planted acorns in different cities in case one doesn't work. And same thing with the t-shirts. You've used
Different industries.
different industries to make it happen.
Down to different brands
And you said to spread out your spread out your business. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, and that's what made me think that. But answer the same way, but they only have one anthill. If that anthill gets crushed, then all their food is gone. So that's why I kind of lean more towards a squirrel.
Wow.
And it's not because you're all over the place like people think. It's the gathering of the food.
Well, the
No,
business
that's
side,
great.
the prep, the making sure you have.
That's a way more flattering answer. Because when you guys started to say the animal, like my comedy brain just goes, "What's the joke here?" You guys are being very kind and sincere. And I was like trying to think of a D's nuts joke, and you're trying to give me this awesome like, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Sometimes it gets. What was that one time somebody called a girl an elephant or something?
Yeah, I think that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Sometimes it's funny on accident.
Yeah, I think it was me. I'm like, well, all right.
You know what she remind me
we're
of?
gonna go
you know
on with
this. Beautiful lady there. You know what she remind me of? A wildebeest.
It was too late to take it back at that point.
At this point,
is
it
a
was
rule.
committed, and I was going right for it. Like that.
Gosh,
You can't back down.
your memory is so good.
That's exactly where
You're a really skinny
talking about
elephant.
our memory.
You're terrified of mice. I don't know. That's hilarious.
All right, Josh, can you do it?
Did that give you
All
enough
right.
time?
Well, I'm going off of like.
Well, he can just
In the
do one
moment.
big. He
You
can
can
just
totally
do one
roast
big
us.
one.
No, I don't. No, that's not my style. Like you're like mountain lion. You're calculated. You wait for the right moment, and then when when to just pounce, and then you're gone. Like that's
good.
like
Yes.
like I like
You're
that
good at animal
because
spirits.
you know what, that's good. It's really good for like when I would do the Bob and Tom show. Like I'd be in the room with all these like hilarious people, and there's like 8 people with a
they are
microphone. You can't just take over. Like I always did better by just waiting and then giving one boom and then going back instead of trying to. It's also how you deal with hecklers. Right. You don't try to come back with the first thing they say. You ask them questions and you let them
Feed you.
and then when
Dig
you got
their
it,
own
you
hole.
just boom and then
That's perfect. Awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go bear for you because I feel like you have this presence about you that's like cool, calm. I'm in control, and you've got this respect that like when you're talking, nobody else is talking, and I don't know. I just feel like you've got like. You'll be just fine on your own or in a group of people. No one's got to worry about you.
Spot on.
That is spot on.
Spot on. That's actually really
That's the
creepy,
last comedian
Josh.
said about me. Remember?
It's spot on.
He's like, I can tell you're the ringleader.
He
of
really
this up here."
can. He really can command a room. Like when he's shooting videos and like producing stuff.
That's
He
great.
does a good job at it.
You're good at this.
really
Maybe
good
we'll
job.
call you for the next podcast.
Just zoom me in.
Hey,
All
what do
right,
you-
let
what
me
do you
get a look at her. All right.
That's not the elephant.
Whale.
Shit.
I did it
He's
again.
got a booth up there watching.
Oh man.
Josh, I'm going to go with this is the ultimate a compliment. I want you to know that when I say this,
Perfect.
I'm going to go not just a dog. I'm going to go pug.
Yes.
We're a big pug family. We had a pug. We have another pug.
Yes.
We are a huge pug family because they are so likable and just like you just feel better being around them. They
Thank
make you feel better. And they're calming.
Yes.
I would not want to be in a room with any other dog than a pug.
Thank you. Thank you.
awesome.
Hey, that's my goal in
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely
It's good.
nailed these. Absolutely.
Put him
nailed
on the
these.
spot.
Yeah, you
too.
killed. And I feel bad he put you on the spot. But I was
And you got
oh,
like a
I don't.
smushy face.
He told me not to put you on the spot. I was like, fuck that. He's a goddamn comedian. Let's go. See what he's got.
Oh, well.
He nailed it.
he killed
And he
it.
didn't even have to roast us.
Yeah.
He roasted Josh at the end and no one heard him.
I said Annie has a smushy face.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I look great, and I breathe like this.
And you need a CPAP machine. No, that's funny.
All right. So, guys,
That was a good one.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out. We know
Oh,
you got a
thanks
lot of
for-
stuff going on.
No,
and-
man, I appreciate you asking
appreciate
me.
you doing this, man, because like we're small fries and you're a big guy.
No,
We appreciate you big time.
I'm a small fry too.
I had to like pull in a favor from high school and shit. Jenny, I'll help get the reunion going if you can get your husband
She remembered back in high school where she's putting the lipstick on.
here. Me and Jenny are like,
like-
really trying to get the high school reunion going.
I'm glad I didn't roast
not working.
She's a good one to have on the committee.
Well, I mean, she's the only one. I've been trying to help her on Facebook, but like, it's hard.
It's tough.
It's hard to get
It's
it going.
tough.
So
Yeah, we just had
hopefully
our.
I'll see you again at that when you come with her and maybe perform.
This would have been my 30th year, and I think I found out about a week after it happened. But there were like 4 people that got together at a brewery or something.
Yeah, like 7 people got together at the park, at Walton Park, and had a picnic, and I didn't even know about it.
And I mean, think about how hard that would have been pre-internet. You know what I mean? Like
But
my
they did
mom
it
did
better
it for
than
her
us.
class.
Why'd they do it better
I
than
don't
us?
know.
Nobody fucking goes to
I don't
Don't
know.
you think?
It's-
Don't you think it's easier though? Maybe pre-internet.
I don't know. Well, maybe the only reason I think it would be easier
entertainment,
is
right?
because with Facebook or any social,
Yeah.
you forget how long it's been since you've been face to face with someone because you feel like you've kept up
you're
with
kinda
their.
keeping up
That's
with
They
it.
got
true.
married, they had kids, their parent
More
passed
exciting
away.
if you
or-
haven't seen them forever, and you're
Yeah,
like, I get to go
yeah.
back to my Corvette now. And chill.
yeah,
I made
and you
it.
show up. I want to see what so and so looks like. Now you
right.
know.
You're
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
hoping
Already
your
there.
ex-girlfriend's like crack whore, ruin her life.
The guy she cheated on you with. is-
Yeah, he's out,
Fatter than
he's out
you
front
are.
asking for change.
he's your Uber
Still
driver to the.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bro, yeah, I think even your humor just hanging out, I think that you taking that to comedy worked. It works. You're a
Well, I
funny guy, for
appreciate it.
sure.
It's
I
natural.
love it. I
Thank
wish we
you.
could hang out with you in real life.
You can. I'm literally. I
real life.
literally live on this side of the river, and you went to high school with my wife. We do not need any more reasons to hang
All
out.
right,
I
all
play
right.
video games. Come on, let's make it happen.
Yeah, you guys will probably be playing against each other soon.
If I hear Hank Hill in my server, I'll know who it is. Speaking
it's
of
the
Hank Hill,
best.
somebody in the comments wants to hear you do some Hank Hill impressions.
So
Before
I started.
we clock out.
Damn it, Bobby.
So it's the funniest impression. I started doing that impression before it was Hank Hill, when it was just Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
on
Very
Beavis
few
and
people
Butthead.
know
Beavis and
that.
Butthead.
Very
Yeah.
few people know that.
When I heard that voice, that's the boy that was whacking off in my tool shed. Large fry, pie, large coffee. It was the absolute best. And I thought that I learned how to do that voice because I was obsessed with that show. And then when he got his own sitcom, and then I started doing this bit about making fun of NASCAR fans and how they act like NASCAR is a real sport. And then the close of the bit would be this dad, see that, Bobby, how he sits there and turns the wheel? That's an athlete. and
Oh my!
and I would do that on stage, and I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and this guy came up to me, and he goes, "How long you been doing that voice?" And I go, "Oh, like I've been doing it for a while. I've been doing that joke in my act for probably 8 or 9 years." And he goes, "Who did it before you did it?" And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not the actual voice. Like, I just do that as an impression. He's like, I thought for sure it was you. So then I started doing this in my act where I would say, if you can learn how to do that voice, it's really disarming in public because I can talk to people in that voice with a straight face. And I would be like, give me a scenario, you know? And somebody would be like, what if Hank Hill was returning a shirt to the Gap? And I'd be like, excuse me, my wife bought this in an extra large, but I need a 2X. Could you possibly look in the back? And I would just start doing it. Oh, like, you know, I do it at drive-thrus all the time.
Oh, that's fantastic
You know,
ordering.
Do you have nuggets? Is there a deal on nuggets today, or is it just you buy them in the amounts of 6?
Just so dumb. But it's one of those voices that I just like.
It's iconic.
It's so funny to me.
It's so
It's
good.
still funny to me.
Oh,
Thanks
man.
for
Phenomenal.
Oh, that was
Thanks for
fantastic.
this with that. That was really funny. I'm dead.
Oh.
I'm good for the rest of the day.
That came
All right.
from
Well,
Clinton Johnson. That's who asked.
well,
I have one more before we clock out. One more comment.
okay.
It's from Laura Schmidt.
Okay.
Good stuff, guys. So glad I took a scroll and saw this and how awesome you have Josh there today. From my awesome hometown, such absolute awesome family. Had a great time listening today. Keep it up.
Thank you, Laura.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. And it was
I
so good to
appreciate
hear.
you,
It was just, it's good to hear about the business too. I mean, it's
Right,
just
absolutely.
like, I've always loved starting stuff from the ground up. People have always basically criticized me for like, why don't you just go buy a business? Well, I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to. And
There's
I think
something so satisfying
Yeah.
about it. And, you know, a shameless plug, if you check out the special Fat Ryan, I have shows. I do shows once a year in town, unless it's for like a special event. But I'm at the Funny Bone in Liberty on New Year's Eve. So we're
Deal.
doing New Year's Eve this year.
When can we buy tickets for that?
They're on sale now.
Cat,
So,
if you're watching Cat, buy the fucking tickets. About to be gone.
Come see us at Cincy Shirts. If you have a business that needs any kind of promotional material, whether it's apparel or anything with your logo on it, reach out to us. And then if you have a need for a baseball facility, we opened up a place called the Field House over here in Northern Kentucky. It's really cool batting cages, but we also do baseball card shows. All of October, we're turning it into a haunted house.
The cheat,
So
that's up this
the
guy's
Field
alley.
of Nightmares will open the first weekend in October at the Field House, and we've already started building it. It's going to be really sick. But I appreciate what you guys do. I'm such a champion for local businesses. I just, one thing that I wanted to, like when I was a kid and I would see somebody on TV and they'd say they were from Cincinnati, it just always was cool to me that like somebody made it in whatever field from where we are. And then, with the advancement of technology and these cameras and podcasting and stuff, like there's so many cool people in Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati doing really cool stuff. And I just lean into it whenever I can. So keep supporting stuff like this and all local content creators, because people don't know it, but there's some really dope stuff that comes out of this city. And I just want to see it continue.
Yeah, thanks.
I totally agree with that. And I just want to say, the people that are here to creating stuff always want to move away because they think the grass is greener. I want to go to LA. I want to go to New York and do this and this and this. Well, we have our own thing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Film is huge here now.
I mean,
Huge.
I'm sure, I'm not going to say for a fact, but I bet you people in LA, people in New York are like, I want to go to Cincinnati.
Yep.
Yeah, they want to see the old buildings. They want to see
Because
a
we
different
have our
perspective.
own style of art that comes out of here, and just because it's not art that comes out of LA and New York doesn't mean it's not art.
It's like a lot of
it's a
people don't
different style.
realize like 90% of the halftime shows at the Super Bowl or the technology for it was done by Lightborn. It was done out of downtown Cincinnati.
That's awesome.
You know what I
Didn't
mean?
know that either. Yeah.
And honestly, like to kind of put a bow on all this, like for me personally, like every credit that I have that we've talked about has happened while I've lived here. And it's because of the technology that we have with our phones and available to us at Best Buy. I don't have to be in New York or LA to make a living in the entertainment industry. I can do it from Union, Kentucky. And Dave Chappelle said something that changed my life when he was on Inside the Actors Studio. His parents asked him, you know, when he said he wanted to do comedy, they thought it was like a phase he was going through. And they said, well, will you quit if you're not successful? And he said, well, that depends on what your definition of success is. Like, they were college professors, and he said, if you make $40,000 a year as a teacher and I can make $40,000 a year as a comedian, I'd rather be a comic than a teacher.
Right.
And it really changed my attitude on what success means, because I realized I might not be a household name, but if I can make a living doing something I love, that's success. It doesn't matter that I don't have a sitcom or I'm not a movie star. I'm still doing what I love, paying my bills doing it, and I have an amazing life. And that's like what we're all striving to do around here.
Thanks for blessing us with that. That's exactly what it's all about, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I think Damien even said that our last guest said the same thing. Like, he wants to be an actor, so he does, you know, stunt doubles and all that. He found a way. I want to do film. I can't do film right now, but I can make videos for, you know, commercials and real estate agents and all that, and stay in that industry. You can go after your dream. You don't have to be an NBA star. You can be a basketball coach one day. You know, you can stay in that thing and excel at it
And change people's lives.
Absolutely.
Like do good things. So
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is the Make Your Move podcast. Josh, thanks for coming on. Definitely blessing our podcast with your presence. Guys, go to Cincy Shirts. Business owners, all the business owners I know a ton of them, and real estate agents. You heard it here today. You can go to Cincy Shirts and start your own brand of what you're selling, your logos, all that stuff, and build your own store, and they can supply you with it and you can keep your hands off of it and just design or whatever. Or you guys do designs too, probably.
Yep.
Right?
If you need a box of shirts delivered, we'll bring them to you. If you just want to offer it on your site or offer it, we'll put it on Cincy Shirts. We champion local businesses.
Cincy Shirts.
So we just put you down as a partner. We sell, you direct people there to buy it. You don't have to do anything except get a royalty check from us when your stuff sells.
Cool.
Awesome.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, guys, we bring the Make Your Move podcast. We bring people on who are making their move. Josh Sneed's making his move all over the place. He's like a chess player for real. He's just like Richie said. He's put stuff all over the place, and now he's rolling with it. Real proud to have a guy from Cincinnati, you know, doing what you're doing.
Thanks, boys.
Guys, tune in next time and keep making your move.
See ya.
Congratulations, you have made your move.